We see you. What a handsome boy you are. What a handsome boy you are. So Friday afternoon, I'm actually wanting to spotlight some of the other residents here at the sanctuary. There was a really big deal yesterday, and that is that here's Autumn, the bobcat, Francis and Belvedere. They actually got to move to their new habitats here in Wildcat Pines, and it's just amazing. Autumn is out now because he can go from catwalk to catwalk up high in the sky. He's got so many platforms to go on, and he loves to be in the catwalk. So this is Bobcat, Autumn, Belvedere, and Francis. They moved to their new areas yesterday. I see you. They just got done eating. And that is Belvedere up on the platform you see now. Everybody's taking the same path up to the sky. And I see Autumn's trying to go back near the lockout for more food. I'm going to walk over here and see if I can get a better shot of them in their habitat. So all the bobcats have been so patiently waiting their new habitats, and it was great. I heard Autumn was took a little bit of time to get crated yesterday. So this is Belvedere. He sees the contractors just drove up to the building, the Wildcat Pines building. And there's Francis. And now Autumn. They're all taking turns. Autumn's going right up top. So when Autumn gets a little nervous, like the truck just pulled in, Autumn likes to go up, not down. So with this habitat, there was several inspections done on the roof to make sure he couldn't find access points, but we still wanted to keep all the trees in here so that he can hide in the brush, feel much more comfortable. If you remember, this group of bobcats are unreleasable wildlife. You see Belvedere up top over here, and they love the high platforms. These guys are climbers, so they have to be roofed. As we've talked about, our goal would be that all of the animals we have never had to be in captivity. We don't want to see animals having to live their life behind fences, but these guys get the next best thing. That little truck is scary. They're not used to having a pickup truck near them, but they're doing great. And there's so much different areas to explore, all the way up to the building.
This is Aria and Catherine. We've exited the door, small cat tracks, double check the locks, cats can be given access.
So it's just really nice to see Autumn out. He spent a lot of time in his building in the old habitat, and he's out because he loves to just kind of hide and nestle in the pine trees and determine his confidence level from there. Now Belvedere and Francis went all the way to the front of the habitat. And these guys is a story we want to remind people that when you come across wildlife in the wild, a lot of people think the babies are orphaned, but it might be that mom's just away hunting, mom's away kind of patrolling her area. Don't take wildlife home with you. Leave it where it is. And if you're really sure that they've been abandoned. Make sure you bring wildlife directly to a licensed rehabber. You don't want to allow wildlife to imprint on you, because that was the only reasons that these guys could not be released back in the wild, is that the two boys were taken in by a family who allowed them to imprint, and then they couldn't be released. Autumn, on the other hand, lost his whole family right before winter and couldn't learn to hunt. So right now we have a big blind up because they're near the construction area of the building, and they just moved in yesterday, so they're doing really well of having just moved into this habitat. But it does, think of it as your house cat if you were to move houses. It does take a little bit for them to get used to the new space. So we'll walk with me. I see you guys. It's a little soggy here, but they're all the way up front. Francis is always the one to come say hello. And they're actually right next to Chupino. You can hear Chupino. You can hear Chupino talking too. So we planted grass seed, but this time of year it's going to take a season to grow. So they've got grass in certain areas, and some of the excavation, it still needs to grow. But we love how many catwalks and things they have to do in their habitat. I see you, Autumn. And Kimba's roaring back to Chupino. And thank you for Trees for Tigers. It's a great nonprofit organization that donated funding for us to put all the wood and caves in. Our interns and volunteers and staff built all the skywalks, but without having the money for the supplies, those skywalks wouldn't be possible. So it's great to be able to have so much vertical space for these bobcats that can go up. If we can't give them larger square footage, we definitely want to use more vertical space. Oh, Chupino. And you can see the bobcats aren't afraid of Chupino, the lion, roaring at all. Instead, they were intimidated by a pickup truck that drove by. So yeah, we still have a lot of work to do before winter. Fall came a little sooner. The thing is, our staff and interns and contractors are amazing. They will do it, even if it takes going into winter season to complete the construction, because we still have 2 more bobcat habitats over that way that need to be completed. The good news is all of our bobcats have great spaces here at the sanctuary right now, so there's no rush into moving them in, but we definitely want to give them the best space possible as soon as we can. So the indoor building is completed. We just have to come back and attach the habitats to the doggy doors. And so we're just waiting for construction materials to be picked up, and then the fence will be attached all the way to the building. And so during construction, we want to give the cats privacy, and so we've put up these blinds so that they don't have to see the construction. Just gonna see if we can see Mondovi or Aria at all. There's Aria. Hi, beautiful. So remember, when this girl came, she was shy and timid. She's always the first to come up and say hello now and give us that little butt tail. We will be giving the cats pumpkins, most likely next week. Hi, Miss Aria. Where's your buddy Mondovi? He's usually up in one of the skywalks. We'll see if we can find Mondovi. Oh, he's eating. Okay. He's actually in his lockout eating, and that's his favorite thing to do, so we're not going to take that away from him. And so Aria here is a Eurasian lynx, also known as a Siberian lynx. She's really come out of her shell in this new habitat. She started to when she was in the quarantine area too, but we're so excited that she loves the outdoors. She loves her skywalks. Her and Mondovi have both picked a favorite spot. And they're still not the best of friends. Put it this way, they act like siblings much more than like a bonded pair. And that's okay. They don't cause any wounds or fights. They sometimes kind of tell each other what they think, but I can show you. So Mr. Mondovi is sitting right here in his shift area feeding. And this way they can eat on their own without worrying about the other stealing their food or having to protect their food. So Aria's all the way on the back. Well, now she's going potty. We're invading her privacy. But you can see the new areas even for them give them so much to do, and we are so excited that they'll be attached to their building in the near future. Bobcats and lynx do not have long tails. That's why bobcats are called bobcats, and the Eurasian lynx and Canada lynx. Where are you going, silly? You silly. So Mondovi is gonna be let out now. He might come running out, or he might stay and lick every morsel in his shift area. And then you have Sebastian over here and Luna the bobcat. Let's see if I can see Sebastian. He's right there. And Sebastian and Luna really like the new area too. Luna likes to stay up high on her platform. Oh, Mondovi found extra pieces over here, of course. Mondovi is one of our most food motivated little guys, and he's on the other side of this doorway. He's a bobcat, so you can see the difference between the Eurasian lynx and the bobcat, the coloring. The Eurasian lynx is much more brown, much taller. We do not have free contact with our big cats. And small cats, we think we should treat them with respect as wild animals. They would pay the price if something negative were to happen, and we don't want that. So we merge cats together, Mondovi, with their own kind or even different species to have friends, but at least they're both cat species. You can see them over there. They're actually being friendly to each other. But just like cats, as soon as I want to get a cute cuddle moment, they go behind the scratching posts. Hi, silly. Hi, silly. Aria is actually very trim and lanky for Eurasian lynx. She came that way. I think she'll fill out as she gets older. Our other Eurasian lynx have been very stocky. Ooh, she's gonna get Mondovi. She's in a playful mood. So every cat, when they come, it's really on their time frame when they come out of their shells. It can be different for each cat. We realize that it's a change in their life when they're surrendered or when they're seized or placed with us, and we don't push it on them. We choose to merge cats based on personality. It was Aria that just came up to the fence. That's way more important than species, but you do have to take into account size, if they're declawed, if they're defanged, sadly, by their previous owners, and what that might do. These two are about the same age. They're under 2.5 years old, 3 years old, so they have the same energy level, and they had the same nervousness when they came. Now he is definitely smaller than her, but again, based on temperaments, we thought they'd be a good fit. And this is Mondovi right up here. And that's Aria. And they're both presenting to each other the biggest compliment cats can give each other. Until one of them decides to play. So when we get matches like this, we're so happy because they're happy, and that is the biggest thing to see. And I know a lot of times people want to see it right away when we take in or rescue a cat, but this is a change in their life, and it does take some adjustment. Remember, when Aria was purchased from a pet shop as a pet, she had never been outdoors before coming to TWS. So that alone was a huge change. And they're loving the cooler weather. You know, we see the cats have a lot more problems with the heat than they do the cold, especially because these are bobcats and lynx. The snow with the lions and the African servals, it's funny, the lions don't mind the cold, but they don't like the snow, so the staff shovels paths for them in their habitat. And the servals don't mind the snow. They do spend more time in their buildings during winter months, but on the sunny days they're out there lounging on their platforms. Thank you, Miss Aria. Thank you. Thank you, gorgeous. So I have no idea why we're getting cell service today in areas we never get cell service. It's cloudy, which means we shouldn't have it, but I'm really thankful if we do, because sharing these special moments with each of you is so important too, because you really made this happen. And as much as the lions coming is huge and deserves attention, so do these amazing little guys who we've rescued throughout the year and even years. That platform's just in the wrong spot, isn't it, for videoing, but...
Jackie, I'm back on site with all the battery. If I do have somebody to help me unload it, that'd be great. Thank you.
So Sambuca's doing well. He got neutered, had his vet intake exam, and was moved to an indoor-outdoor... He's playing with her tail. An indoor-outdoor habitat today. I'm trying to get a good shot for you guys. Sorry, it's hard with all the poles. Mondovi, you're being quite... Hey, let's not bite her tail. Be nice, little brother. Thanks for asking about Matisse. My cat's doing well for his age. He's 17. We don't know if he has a polyp in his nostril or allergies, so we're treating for both. Well, I think we'll sign off today. I know it's hard to say goodbye when these guys are doing so much fun. Bran and Stelter are across the way. I see they're just getting fed. And Cookie the rescue dog is doing absolutely wonderfully. She's not as rambunctious as these two for sure. Cookie prefers to hang out and sleep with her friends. So thanks again for tuning in today and getting to see some of the fun stuff and the bobcats enjoying their new habitats. They are just important to us as the big beautiful lions.